Welcome to Highly Questionable. I'm Dan Lebitard. Amin was not ready to start the show. He's looking at his teeth. What do you like on the show today, Amin?
Boogie is back!
Yes, Boogie. Dale,
He's
papi.
back. Is Kyrie's apology to LeBron evidence that he has changed?
Changed? This feels exactly the same to me. And what did he learn from LeBron James? What he learned is how to talk to his teammates through the media like they're 6-year-olds. Listen to this.
I'll tell you one thing, and obviously this is something that it was a big deal for me because I had to call Bron, and tell him, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people. And Bron was one of those guys that came to Cleveland and tried to really show us what it's like to win a championship. And it was hard for him. I feel like the best person to call was him because, he's been in this situation. He's been there with me where I've been the young guy of, being a 22-year-old kid and, won everything. I think what that brought me back to is all right, how do I get the best out of this group of the success they had last year, and then helping them realize what it takes to win a championship.
George Sedano and I, 3 years ago, classified that kind of LeBron as Daddy LeBron, the way he talked down to his teammates, almost parental, paternalistic even. And now, the irony is, 3 years later, here's Kyrie, wearing a dad hat, by the way, with the word Uncle Drew on it, doing the same thing. And I think, in a weird way, he was trying to connect with his teammates, saying, hey, I've been in your situation before. I've been through it. Trust me. Here's the problem. No, you haven't, Kyrie, because when LeBron came to Cleveland, you were a career loser on the NBA level. And LeBron literally had to teach you just to be 500, let alone win games and win a championship. You came to a Boston team where these young guys, first of all, A, were pretty good before you got there, and B, went to a conference finals and to a Game 7, almost going to NBA Finals without you. So really, you can't connect with them because you haven't been in the same situation.
The lack of self-awareness in this is breathtaking because these are not irrelevant points. The idea that this team was better without him last year has to hurt. The idea that this team is worse with him this year has to hurt. So what's he saying has to change? I have to be in charge. I have to be the leader. The idea that he would call LeBron James now to apologize, I cannot imagine how that's going over in his locker room, that he would not only do it, but then he would reveal it to us in a way that suggests that his teammates are lesser than him and that he doesn't realize Kyrie Irving is a lot lesser than LeBron James. You're going in there with the attitude of LeBron James, and you ain't LeBron James.
I just have one big question.
What's that, Papi?
Why would anyone want to talk to LeBron? I don't want to talk to the guy.
Okay, well, if he doesn't want to talk to him, why would anyone else want to talk to him? Ladies and gentlemen, a special kind of narcissism from my father.
Is he running beer doing too much?
He has scored 115 points in the last 2 games. He is the closest thing to Wilt Chamberlain since Wilt Chamberlain. But on those 115 points over the last 2 games, you want to guess how many assists there were to him, Poppy? Because he's dribbling. There were...
How many assists?
0.
Zero.
Excellent.
You see that? 0. That's
assists
right.
to him on his 115 points. Amin mentioned this the other day. You're going to face in the Warriors 4 guys that are about as good as James Harden. The load this dude is carrying and his usage rate is bigger than anyone in the league by a lot. The load he's carrying, you can't have that load and then also be better than the 4 guys in Golden State that can do all those things and don't have that load.
You know what's funny, Dan? The average usage rate for an NBA player is about 20% because there's 5 guys on the floor, 100% possessions, 20%. James Harden's is 40%. He's using as many possessions as 2 players combined. And is he doing too much? Hashtag doing too much shout out to his and hers? No, because if he doesn't do that, they won't go to the playoffs. They won't see those 4 guys that are just as good as him. They need him to do this night in and night out because they're so short-handed.
What is the big deal about this guy? How many points is scoring? 45, 50 points a game? He got about 30 free throws every game. You know what I mean? He got the referees in his back pocket. You take that away from the guy. He's just an average NBA player. Come on, that's right. Yeah, that's right. 25. He goes to the free throw lines more than the other team combined.
All right, very good. So if you take away the free throws, he's the fundamentally average Morris brother.
That's right. Is Boogie Cousins right that the Warriors are the most hated team in sports?
Okay, so they go into Denver and they smoke Denver, and now they've got reinforcements coming. And when we talk hatred around here, professional irritant Amin Al-Hassan loves to talk hatred. What the Golden State Warriors actually have, because Steph Curry acts as a bit of Tim Tebow over their entire organization, giving a saintliness to a roster that perhaps you don't like. But they've got three guys who have become unlikable. Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, given what's happened with him lately, and Boogie Cousins knows what it's like to be unlikable. He's been getting that from the media for many years. This is not the most unlikable team in sports. It's merely a polarizing champion.
As an expert on being unliked by many people, I can assure you, Golden State, that you are not the most hated team in sports. You know why? Because people only don't like them because they're good. The moment they get bad, no one will even remember who the Warriors are. You want to know what unlikable is? The Cowboys are the most hated brand in sports. You know why? Because even when they're bad, we're all rooting for them to keep failing and keep being bad. And let me tell you something. The last 20 years have been a gift. Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Jerry Jones. You're giving me a favor here.
They're not even the most hated among winners. I would say that the Patriots have a lot more of that in their past than the Warriors do.
Julian Edelman says, bet against us, Dan.
Bet against us. $30 at my website for T-shirts as the Patriots claim to be doubted as a dynasty.
I don't hate the Warriors, but I could if they lose to LeBron.
Oh, he's capable of it, yes. A couple of years ago, he did hate the Warriors for, about 4 days when he didn't sleep.
Did Giannis abuse Marc Gasol worse on the offensive end or the defensive end?
Marc Gasol is really athletic for his size, but Giannis is more athletic for his size. So let's check in here with what happened to Marc Gasol last night, as this guy's just pretty unstoppable when he starts doing that. I mean, who's supposed to do what against that?
Happens to the best of us, Dan.
And then this is a bit slow. And not even the gratuitous, embarrassed, looking for a call from Gasol on this one. He knows, he's just like, oh, that didn't go very well for me.
You know, my favorite part of that clip is the underneath angle as he's driving. You can see him exhale vehemently because he's ready to. I'm
gonna bring some fury.
Right here.
Look at this. Yes, a little bit of overbite.
Oh man.
Did you see what happened to Ilyasova?
What happened to Ilyasova?
Oh, look at that.
Oh! No call, no nothing. Oh dear God.
Oh, you know what's missing? He should have done the Sean Kemp point at him on the ground and they'll go away.
Were we too quick to judge Adam Gase for his awkward introductory press conference?
Adam Gase, Poppy, it is not Geese. He's been calling him Geese for 3 years. He came on the Dan Le Batard show with Stugotz, 10 to 1 Eastern every day on ESPN Radio. And if he was 0-1 after that initial press conference, he's 1-1 after this. What happened at the introductory press conference? Like, what can you tell us about? Did you know that it became a meme and people were putting tacos around your face so that
I don't have Twitter, Instagram. I don't read the internet. I don't watch TV. All that stuff it's irrelevant to me. To me, it's pollution of the brain. I really don't care. That's how I operate. I'm here to do one thing, and that's to help this organization win. So all the other stuff is irrelevant to me.
Was it irrelevant to the other people who were management at that press conference? Did anyone say anything to you, or did they leave it alone?
Nobody said anything to me.
When you left the room, did you feel like you'd won the press conference?
I don't care.
Okay.
All I know is it doesn't. Did we win any games because of it?
No, that's true. No.
Nobody cares.
It's a great answer. I hope you keep that with the New York tabloids. I hope you keep sticking your face in that buzzsaw because that'll be a fun fight to watch.
I'm not trying to fight anybody. I'm just trying to do everything I can to win games.
Really? Nobody said anything? Look, either he's lying or he doesn't have friends. Because somebody should have said, Adam, what the hell were you doing? What's going on? What were you looking at? Was there really a floating taco? Was that video doctored or not?
Well, you said now, boy, you wouldn't say it to his face on the radio.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. In fact, he didn't ask a single question. You may have noticed in that footage that he seemed to be hiding or trying to hide behind some sort of microphone or pillar or something.
Actually, the beginning of the clip is me on my phone. I think I was on Instagram.
Okay, even worse.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
They're pitching around the Bambino here, Poppy.
Oh, yeah.
You may notice that the Bambino, that's ball 2 right there. Ball 3, the Bambino, by the way.
Okay, it's not working.
Bottle opener, yeah, you got to be careful.
Not working.
Oh, no, what's going to happen with that knife?
My Son TV show is brought to you by Miralax. It works with the water in your body to unblock your system naturally.
Turn up your swagger game with one-a-day gummies. One serving, once a day. With nutrients that support 6 vital functions and 1 healthy you. That's the power of one-a-day.
You think you are superhuman?
Boy, okay. That's all the boy.
That'll run. Let's keep it moving.
Do you question if Babe Ruth should have been drilled for this?
When things happen anywhere in sports, we get there about 84 years later and we analyze them. Let's see what we've got here. 4 pitches to Babe Ruth that are making their way around the internet. They're pitching around the Bambino here, Poppy.
Oh, yeah.
You may notice that the Bambino, that's ball 2 right there. Ball 3, the Bambino, by the way, may indeed be black in this video. There it is, the bat flip right there. That guy on the mound who had a second job as a plumber. I don't know that to be a fact, but I think it's a reasonable assumption. That guy on the mound would have drilled Babe Ruth with an 84-mile-an-hour fastball if that happened today.
The most interesting part of that video was the ad in the background for Lifebuoy. Protects health and stops BO, see?
Do you question if this is an extraordinary play by Paul Pogba?
Paul Pogba, I don't know why my father made him Pau Gasol for some reason. He's a player for Man U. Poppy, do you know what Man U is?
Manchester United. All right. I got my soccer down.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's doing an interview next to the field with his teammates. Let's see what we've got here.
It was well confident, so mentally we
Oh, wow.
close. Mentally we.
Oh, wow!
That is amazing peripheral vision.
And he doesn't even, he doesn't,
Yeah, they're pretty talented.
He doesn't even blink or crack a drop a sweat or flinch. He just sits, where does the ball come in? Back heel.
That was great, but it didn't work out so well for this person.
Oh, there's another one? What's this?
Yeah.
Oh!
Well, I mean, that's pretty accurate, too. Right on the nose. What do you want?
Okay, I want you to look at that again, though. I want you to watch. I don't know if this was a mother and son, but I just want you to keep an eye on the son. Oh, what have I done?
Grounded. That's what that face looks like.
What have I done?
Do you question if Nick is cool?
All right, Nick is on a cruise ship. Cruise ship is usually filled with people who shouldn't be shirtless, that are shirtless, people who shouldn't be in the whirlpool, who are in the whirlpool, people who are at the buffet, who shouldn't be at the buffet. I know because I am all those people. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me that way. Let's check in with Nick on a cruise ship. Oh, no. No. Nick. Oh, my God. Nick. Oh, my God. That is one of the dumbest things I've seen. What are you doing? No.
Oh my gosh!
No.
Why would he go in fully dressed? Why have a shirt on, Nick?
That's your question?
Yeah, I mean,
why have a shirt on is your question?
I'm just saying, you know you're going to jump in some water, you might as well just be ready to swim, like just swimming trunks and that's it.
I'm not a physics expert, but usually when you jump from certain heights into the water, it feels the same as concrete. I don't know how high up that was.
You'll never do anything like that because you're always by the buffet line there, you know what I mean? You're always right there, you know, pizza.
I would never jump away from the buffet. No, I would jump into the buffet, into the sneeze guard, the scars I have on my face.
Do you question if this ended the way you thought it was going to end?
I wish every question on this show was a version of this question. How does this end? What's ending? How would I have expected it to end?
Okay, it's not working.
Bottle opener, yeah, you gotta be careful.
Not working.
Oh no, what's gonna happen with that knife?
It's mainly to take the middle.
Oh no.
I feel like tapping.
She's just gonna break the bottle?
Shut up. Shut up. So we broke the bottle. So we're gonna stop at this point. We're gonna wrap it up.
Oh! There it is. And what did that poor dog do to deserve any of that?
Oh, man.
Well, there's a lesson to be learned here, you know?
What's that?
Knives are very dangerous.
We segue seamlessly into a knife montage.
What's going on? No.
Look at that crap. Look at it. All right, look at that man. Look. Look at that.
The greatest ever.
This guy from the future with the ponytail. And this is my favorite right here. Right here.
Yeah.
This is magic in a flea market. Yeah. He's leaking confidence here.
That's right.
As someone in witness protection, I can't.
Comes from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that would bathe in peanut butter. See? Oh no.
Would? I do. What do you mean would? You tell us what to watch on TV tonight. We tell you if we're intrigued.
Gross.
Yeah, it is pretty gross, but delicious.
Tonight on NBA TV, Bulls and Nuggets.
Boppy, Merkinen, what's his first name? Do you know?
Mark Merkinen.
It's Laurie Merkinen, but Mark Merkinen would be better. He plays for the Chicago Bulls. He's Finnish. His nickname is the Finisher. Let's see him trying to teach his teammates how to speak Finnish.
Pikkujoulu. Pikkujolo.
Pikachu. Pikujolu. Pikujolu.
There you go. Lumilautailu.
Lumilautailu. Lumilautailu. Lumilautailu. Lumilautailu.
Lumilautailu.
Is anyone else jarred by the fact that is Michael Jordan's franchise and I didn't recognize any of his teammates? Amin, are you intrigued?
I'm not intrigued, but I recognize one guy. That was Bobby Portis, the guy who formerly owned the Crazy Eyes trademark until Adam Gase stole it this week.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. The Bulls suck. I bet they can't wait to finish the season. You get it?
Yes, I got it. And there was a well-timed elbow.
They got it. Finish.
Yes, there it goes.
Tonight at 3 a.m. on ESPN 2, the Australian Open.
No, but lest you think that people are no longer sending letters outraged when they see something on television, that's a thing of the past, not at the Australian Open, where these commentators are reading something that an angry viewer has sent them.
Something must be done about the tennis commentary at this year's Australian Open. It's got to the point where every time our pet dog is